Hello YouTube, Commando Ando here. Welcome back to episode 3 of Sakura Spirits. Trying a new voice recording system this time, trying to record a separate audio file. Hopefully that increases my voice quality. I've been having a hard time figuring out how to properly upload videos that have some pretty decent sound quality. So here I am. And this might not exactly be the exact the spot that I left off of in episode 2. I might have skipped a few lines ahead. That's my bad. I saved it after that point, which is absolutely dumb of me. But I assure you, nothing has been missed to the point where it would destroy the story. So, on with the story. I awoke the next morning to the sun filtering in through the wooden blind shutters and yawned loudly. The girls had very graciously given me an entire room to myself, and it was certainly a lot bigger than my room back home. It was still early in the morning, likely a bit before breakfast, when I decided to spend a short moment to gather my thoughts. It was clear that to learn more about my situation, I would need to obtain the wisdom of the spirit dwelling within the shrine in the nearby forest. Perhaps at the same time I would be able to discover 2 more things that I found curious. The first was the fact that Machiko seemed surprisingly nervous when the spirit herself was mentioned. What could have possibly happened to Machiko to make Machiko react that way? Sorry, I'm trying to read a little better here. The second thing was more important. To solve the problems surrounding the hostility between the kitsune and the village, of course I couldn't forget about the fact I needed to find my way homewards. Also, it was just around the time that I finished gathering my thoughts that Maiko's voice resounded from downstairs. Takani! Oh god, that sounds so terrible. I'm so sorry. Breakfast is ready. Can you go and call Ne-sama? Sure! We'll be right there. Taka ni, Taka being Takahiro's first half of the name, ni meaning older brother. I quickly made my way outside the room, soon finding myself within one of the corridors of the Kitsune mansion. I wonder how they got a hold of a mansion to begin with, but that's beside the point. Oh man, this place is really nice. I wish I had a place like this. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Machiko wandering down the corridors, her lips curving up into a smile when she saw me. Hello. No need to look for me, Taka-kun. Maiko's voice reached me loud and clear. Good morning, Tachiko-chan. Did you sleep well? It was a decent sleep, perhaps a little lonely though. However, you seem to be getting along well with my little sister. Takani, huh? Maybe I should consider you the competition, a rival in the quest for the heart of dear Maiko-chan to be the most fondly cared of older sibling. She has no idea what I'm thinking. She seems attached to it. I guess I'll be stuck with that name for a while. Oh, is it not to your liking? Well, maybe you would prefer to be called Darling instead. She knows. You are watching us. Indeed. It was taking you both such a long time. I grew rather curious as to your antics, so I snuck out. You, what an eavesdropper. But I didn't see you at all. Well, I am a kitsune spirit. Holding myself from a human is like playing hide and seek with a child. Then why didn't you two use your hiding skills from the samurai girls? Yeah, answer me that. Now that you mention it. The thought never occurred to me. Well, it was certainly fun getting chased by them. She's playing with me. Plus, Maiko tends not to have a lot of control over her change. She is far too excitable to maintain an illusion. It is her one magical blind spot. I can't imagine. It would have still been fun if the tsundere caught you both. That certainly would have been an unpleasant scenario to imagine. Then again, I am sure you would end up saving me, Taka-kun. I could notice the subtle difference in Machiko's voice, the sweet sugar-coated words that caused my cheeks to flush up lightly. She is such a flirt. And I'm falling for it. I really wasn't good at dealing with this girl's flirting attempts. Swiftly stepping backwards, I turned toward the staircase at the end of the corridor and replied in a hurried tone, Maiko-chan is waiting for us, waiting on us. And with that, I said, I rushed toward the kitchen with Machiko giggling behind me as she followed. Ah! Good morning, both of you. I fixed up eggs and toast for you. There are some oranges, too. Ah, wonderful. Thank you, Chibiko. You are getting better at this. To be able to wake up with the knowledge a pretty girl made my breakfast. It's good to be alive. And perhaps one resting next to you, too. That was a bit of an overkill, especially the condition said girl was resting next to me. As if on cue, I recalled the sight of the sleeping Machiko yesterday, my cheeks coloring up a little while I quickly sat down at the table trying to distract myself by changing the subject and also to hide the extra bone that was created in my body. Probably. So, thanks to you two, I learned a little bit about your world. How about I return the favor and talk about mine? Any questions you two might have? Oh, yes. I want to know, what are the spirits like in your world? Spirits, you say? For a moment, I tried to think about her question before I replied with a sheepish grin. Well, in our world, spirits are actually something out of folktales, like they appear in stories and certain religions even worship them, but it's not like we get them running around like in this world. Folktales? Worship? Your world is strange, Taku-kun. Aw, that's kind of boring. What about your life? Are you a defender of your village? You said something about judo before. What is that? You mean judo? Well, in my world, people got to go to school. That's basically a place of knowledge where you learn a lot of things before you're considered an adult in our society. But in my world, the defenders, quote unquote, are known as the police. They keep the peace and such. I'm just a student, or you could say that I'm still studying to become a defender. Not just in my village, but of my whole country. It was over-exaggerating, but I gotta talk myself up and make sure I lull these ladies into thinking that I'm some hotshot. It felt kind of pleasant to call myself a defender, is what it means. That sounds weird. Are the police like the army defending the world nation? Your world is very strange, Taku-kun. You would have no idea. I wouldn't call it strange, Machiko-chan. It is this world that is a bit unusual. But no, the police are like the guards of a village, while we have an actual army around to defend the whole nation. Either way, your world sounds like fun, especially if everyone's like you. Anyway, Oh, no! No! Oh, gosh dang it. These oranges have all got worms inside them. Ew, 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 ew. One-sama, did you forget to check them again? Oh, how terrible. Perhaps that was a day I had become overcome with fatigue and could not possibly pull myself from bed sheets. Phew. Big ol' lazy meanie. I'll just have to go and get some apples instead. While Maiko went outside to grab some apples, my eyes drifted toward Machiko's breast, who was looking with a content smile at me, clearly pleased by something. Breast. It's so good seeing her in such a good mood. It has been a tough few months, I must admit. She has been upset that her magical skills have not been progressing as fast as they once did. We all have our ups and downs, especially with studying. I still remember how I used to dread the time we had exams. So little time for my judo. It made me rather sad at times. That does sound rather stressful. Tell me, Taku-kun, what is it that you study? I am intrigued by this school notion. Well, my situation is a bit different from most. While I go to school like everyone else, my main focus is actually on to becoming an athlete. To explain it in a way you might understand, an athlete is someone who performs a certain sport, and those who are among the best represent their countries. I myself have an upcoming competition that would decide if I can represent my country at judo. I believe I understand. Your focus is on your strength honing whilst still gathering knowledge to allow yourself a multitude of options. An interesting method. I must thank you, by the way. I guess you could describe it like that. And thank me? Indeed. I believe that your appearance has a lot to do with Maiko's newfound joy. She is even singing out there. I have not heard her singing in weeks. It warms my heart to see her so overjoyed, and it is because of you. Thank you, Taka-kun. I doubt it's just because of me, but you're welcome. I smiled bashfully at Machiko before I continued speaking. Then again, I should thank you also for busting my rear out of jail. I don't know what to imagine what I would have been doing if I was still in the care of the tsundere tyrant. Haha, you are most welcome. Please do not be so hard on Mio-chan though. There are many things here beyond her control. But it is perhaps out of our hands for now. I still wish to thank you, Taka-kun. I was wondering how I might repay you for bringing such joy to Maiko. I have a few ideas, but yeah. I do wonder what turned the village to look so unkindly upon you and Maiko-chan. And repay me? Repay me by... I don't know. For a moment, my thoughts drifted toward a certain idea, but my cheeks quickly turned a scarlet red at the thought. Yeah, Taka knows. Taka knows what all 17-year-old boys would love to have. I can't ask a such thing of her. You're a gentleman, but you've ruined it for me and you, Taka. Good deal. I'm not sure I have anything in mind. Just your smile is enough payment. You are a true gentleman, Taka-kun. A shame. I was thinking of such naughty things too. Shit! I thought of the same naughty things, I'm guaranteeing you. Maybe even more naughty than you imagine. But alas. I missed my chance. The kitsune giggled gently to herself as she turned back to the garden, watching Maiko struggle to climb down from a tree with an armful of apples. Maiko-chan, there are only 3 of us. Your belly does not count as a 4th person. Speaking of a 4th person, I can't help but notice from what I was told you two used to interact a lot with the spirit of the shrine. What made you get so nervous when this Tsuyuri is involved? Yeah. That's not so important. Oh, is that a giant bird carrying the seed of the world tree? Or, oh, maybe it is I should go and... Ah, Tsuyuri Dono, thank you for visiting us today. Machiko-chan is right over there. Ah! Tsuyuri, no, I'm sorry. I've just been busy. Please, forgive me, Tsuyuri-san, ma. Heh, to think she'd get you so flustered. Is she that amazing of a person? If you know what I mean. You don't understand. It's complicated. There are certain skills that I, as a kitsune, can muster to use, a certain way of talking and acting to subtly influence how people perceive me. They are, I suppose they'd be like social skills for spirits. Tsuyuri can completely negate mine, and it leaves me feeling rather nervous and childlike. I see, so basically she's immune to your flirting and... For a moment, my mind was connecting the dots when I planted the palm of my hand against my forehead. So... they have that kind of relationship. Now I get it. Machiko-chan is afraid of approaching her because this Tsuyuri is an even greater flirter than you are. But if she's flirting with you... I see, you swing that way. Somehow I suddenly felt rather disappointed for some reason I couldn't exactly grasp. She could always be bi, bro. That's not true. Well, maybe slightly about her being a stronger... I mean, she is an overpowering presence, and it does not allow me to properly, do my thing. I don't know why you're talking about swinging, though. It means that, you know, you like girls. Oh, really? Well, how about we forget all about Tsuyuri and I show you exactly which way I do swing, Taka-kun. If you're thinking what I'm thinking and swinging my way, let's swing on to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, maybe even home. That... Takahiro! That won't be necessary. She must be quite a challenge to deal with, though, especially since... I briefly lowered my voice to whisper under my breath. You're already a handful to deal with when you start teasing. Ha ha ha, you are perhaps less of a gentleman than I thought, Taka-kun. Then, what should I be? A lovable rogue, perhaps, or maybe you see yourself as more of the hero type. Obviously, I'm a hero, perverted, but, you know, I'm still a hero. One-sama, Takani! Welcome back, Maiko-chan! How did the hunt for the golden apple go? Hey, no golden ones, but I got a load of good ones, even one that's shaped like a heart. You can have that one, Takagini. An apple shaped like a heart. That's a curious thing, but could this mean you're confessing your love to me by giving me a heart? Maybe I am. I seriously think Ichikawa would kill me if he saw me in my current situation. He would probably just die in jealousy and envy and all the feelings that pertain to that similar. Anyway, why, thank you, my fair lady. I shall savor every moment of its sweet flavor. Gasp! Maiko, how could you betray your love of me, your one and only sister? Has all we have done together meant nothing? Oh my. Hehehe, but I love you too, One-sama. I found a super big apple that you can have. Polygamy at its finest. Well, you've both got to eat up. We're going to go and see Tsu-chan. Wait. What? I thought we would have at least had to request her permission and waited until she grew bored enough to reply. True. But when I was picking apples, I found one of her tiny familiars, and she said she wanted to see us today. Oh, poopy. Oh, shit, is what she meant to say. Following the directions the familiar of Tsuyuri had given Mayako, we set off from the mansion. The three of us picked our way into the forest, fortunately without getting lost this time, under the instruction of the tiny familiar. It didn't take long for us to get past where Machiko had fallen into the river last time we entered the forest, but they say a warned fox is worth two, and this time she avoided any missteps. I'm not familiar with that saying, but okay. So according to the familiar thingies, whatever they are, the shrine is supposed to be up ahead. My gaze had fallen upon a series of stairs that started to ascend from the dirt path up toward a hill, a gate of sorts, standing at the top of the hill. Sounds very familiar. Oh no. What could she want to see us for? She never summons us. She always just bumps into us. Why has she called us? Hey, you're so silly. I'm sure it's nothing to be nervous about. Maybe she's found a way to stop headaches, One-sama. Now that would be wonderful, but there's no use in guessing when she's up ahead. With a stride of confidence in my steps, I swiftly climbed the stairs, the girls quickly following in my wake, one with bold steps and one with rather shaky, slow paces. Come on, One-sama! Why don't we make a game of it to take your mind off of where we are? We could play Hop Along Dandy, Hop Ha! What? Maiko-chan. As I watched, the spunky girl hopped past me. I would have said the spunky girl hopped along past me, giving out commands that the older girls seemed to be following. They moved one step at a time, either hopping, stepping, or jumping up to the next step. When one fumbled, the other got to take a step, and the command then switched to the other girl. You know, I'm pretty sure this is a game very similar to, playing rock, paper, scissors, and if you win, you take a step. Excuse me. But what do I know? I'm a foreigner to this world. I watched in amazement as the panic that had almost set in Machiko. Watched in amazement as the panic that had almost set in Machiko vanished as she played the silly little game with her sister. Soon, the two sisters reached the top of the stairs, and a voice I could have sworn I heard somewhere before resounded through the air. How? Do I have a mysterious but sexy voice? Oh, they all sound the same. How cute! Maiko-chan hasn't changed in all those years, still hopping around my doorstep like a little bunny. Eep! The voice seemingly made Machiko let out a cry of surprise, her body making a light tremble with the source behind the voice revealed. While the source behind the voice revealed itself when we arrived at the shrine grounds. It's a very familiar looking sight for sure. The one responsible for this nervous reaction seemed to be a familiar figure that hopped off the gate and landed gracefully before us, her tail sweeping back and forth through the air. Hello. She has very big boobies. And Machi-tan, I'm so delighted to see you again. It's been a while since we last played. Have you been doing well? Hi, Tsu-chan. We were playing a game. Hello, Tsuyuri-sama. We're doing well. It did look like an incredibly cute game. Then again, it might be because two really cute kitsune were playing it. Still, I'm amused you didn't join them, human boy. Couldn't you come up with their steps? I was more focused on meeting you than playing a game. How unfortunate to ignore the appeal that games hold to always look at life with such a serious and worrisome mind setting is unhealthy. Isn't that right, my dear Machi-chan? But that's not fair, Tsu-chan. Takani didn't know the rules yet. That's very true. I didn't know what game they were playing. And it wouldn't be fair to bring someone in part way. He was learning how to play. I'm sure he'll take part next time. It's not, healthy. The kitsune took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and composing herself. But Maiko's right. Takakun was learning the game. It's not his fault. I'm just teasing him, darlings. No need to get so worried. But I can imagine what brings you three here. However, I'm surprised about one thing. But Tsu-chan, you called us here yourself. I did. That's what I'm not surprised about. It's the fact that your Takakun is here with you too. Doesn't it strike you both as odd? A human being so friendly with spirits. The last time I saw that one was when Machi-tan was still a toddler. It's that one makes me curious. Why is he here with the kitsune rather than the samurai girls who are closer to his kin? That's because the guards from the village, they arrested him because of our actions. He helped us to escape, but got taken instead. We rescued him and let him stay with us. It's nothing bad. I swear he's just a nice human. He seems to be, not from here though. I didn't mean in a bad way, my dear. Rather, it's fascinating to see a human protect a spirit. But of course he's not from the village. One like me takes little interest in the closed-minded humans of this realm. So you could say your thoughts are correct. That boy is not from this world. And yet, he might end up playing an important role, whether he likes it or not. I mentioned this to Maiko-chan and Machiko-chan before, but it doesn't matter to me whether they are spirits or humans. Still, despite the fact I like this world, I do like to Still, despite the fact I like this world, I would like to get back to my own home world. I do have an important match to take part in. Ah, right, your upcoming battle. Let us discuss the matter inside the shrine, shall we? We will wait for you here, Takakun. With that, it seemed the kitsune wouldn't accompany me any further. My steps growing a bit more hesitant, feeling a little bit more nervous about being left alone with this woman. You're a succubus, aren't you? And here we are, at the place our first conversation unfolded. I guess now is a proper time to introduce myself. My name is Tsuyuri. What's with these Tsus? And just like your two companions, I'm one of the spirits that inhabit this realm. And yet you're different than them. Isn't that right? How observant of you, yes. There is a difference between me and most spirits. The spirits have a hierarchy among them. The stronger a spirit, the higher they are in standing. Of course, for our race, power often is associated with experience. So, you're saying that you're an ancient being. No, I wouldn't go that far, Takahiro. It's rude to question a girl's age. Very true, boys, guys, gentlemen, watching this. Do not ever question a lady's age. But on to the subject of your desire to return to your own home. You're going to send me back? Great. Excuse me. I'm afraid sending you back is beyond my capacities. Wait. Weren't you the one who sent me here in the first place? That would be an incorrect assumption. It was your wish at the shrine that sent you here. I did mention during our first encounter that this place is special, didn't I? Now I thought about it. She did mention something along those lines. I briefly closed my eyes trying to recall what she had mentioned before. This shrine is a place of power. That's right. Since you have spent time with the Kitsune before you arrived here, you likely know that there is magic within this world. However, it's not that Maiko-chan possesses magic. Rather, her body is able to establish a connection to the magic within this world. That sounds a bit complicated. Basically, people who can use magic normally can only do this because their bodies have a special link to the world's magic. Try to imagine it like this. The magic within the world flows through several gateways. We commonly call them mana gateways, while those who possess the ability to magic do so because they contain a certain part in their body. A mana receiver could be a term for it. So, you're also connected to the world like this. Ha! No, my boy, I'm not borrowing the magic of this realm. I am a powerful enough spirit to perform magic on my own. However, this shrine is located on a mana gateway. What could translate to the explanation how the shrine in your world is said to be capable of granting wishes. Then, why can't you use that magic to send me back? Because it's not my magic that brought you here. It's the magic of the shrine rather than the world itself that pulled you into this realm. So, you're saying that I'm stuck here forever. Not forever. You simply need to carry out the world's will. Oh, great. You're saying this planet has a will of its own. And how in the world am I going to learn what it's up to? That's what you have me for, silly. I'm the guardian of this shrine, so obviously I know its intentions. In your case, the task you were given was quite a harsh one. Don't tell me that I have to collect wedding sashes? And marry my Machi-chan in the process? You wish. All teasing aside, the region is having its fair share of problems. It's been a long time now that the spirits dwell within this realm shared with humans, but it hasn't always been like this. You mean the spirits have a world of their own? Yes. We used to have a world of our own, but that realm has started to merge with this one because causing some spirits to find themselves trapped here. Unfortunately, this all occurred before the more powerful spirits had the opportunity to reverse the damage. So, Machiko-chan and Maiko-chan are? They don't belong in this world, albeit neither of them likely remember it clearly since they were still akin to a human toddler when they were sent into this world. I started to realize it slowly, the reason why the Kitsune and the villagers were at such an uneasy terms. Anyone would be restless if beings from another world that you had never seen before suddenly arrived at your doorstep. Is that the reason why there is such a tension between them and the villagers? I'm afraid that's the Kitsune sisters are the victim of a misunderstanding. You see, Machi-chan and Maiko-chan aren't the only spirits in this country. There are others within this country, and that leads exactly to the problematic situation. You mean there are other Kitsune in this region? Not Kitsune, but they are also spirits. They were sent into this realm just like the Kitsune's sisters, but unfortunately they were sent rather far from here. While Machi-chan and Maiko-chan were so close enough for me to take care of The others were an entirely different story. How exactly do you mean? Did something happen to them? Four spirits were sent into this region alongside Maiko-chan and Machi-tan when the worlds briefly merged. Unlike the Kitsune sisters, those four didn't have anyone to watch over them, and as a result, they have grown rather spoiled and wild. You're saying that they are wild spirits who were rather spoiled. That sounded like the recipe for trouble. Yes, they grown oblivious to the way human society worked, and their behavior made humans mistake those spirits as monsters. Even now, those girls and their games are mistaken as assaults, and as a result, there is such a tension between spirits and humans. So then, it's because those spirits are troubling the villagers that Machiko-chan and Maiko-chan are discriminated against. You could say that's the reason. Then why didn't you try to stop those monster girls? Because I can't leave this forest. I'm the guardian spirit of the shrine, so I can't leave my domain. Then again, I couldn't help but wonder what purpose Suyuri had behind telling me about the spirits. Obviously, she wants us to fix it. Could it have been related to finding my way back home? Indirectly, yes. Then solving the problem with the spirits could be my ticket back to my homeworld. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if dealing with the four spirits would help solve the problem between the spirits and the humans. While it would be difficult to track them down, there might be an opportunity for you soon. An opportunity? I'm sensing one of them heading through the forest toward the village. Perhaps if you can convince Machi-tan and Maiko-chan to help you save the village from whatever antics they are up to, you might be able to make the villagers at least accept the sisters. That idea makes sense. If Machiko and Maiko were seen saving the village from a threat, they might have been forgiven. From a threat, they might be forgiven for the little maiden silk scenario. I just hope this will work. Only time will tell. For now, it's best you get the girls and hurry toward the village to stop the wild spirit from causing a mess. You conniving succubus. You're lucky you're hot. Nodding my head in agreement, I quickly ran outside, trying to think of how I would convince Machiko and Maiko to help me save the village. Certainly, it would have been great if they were praised as heroes and their past pranks forgiven, but I imagine that the sisters wouldn't have that many fond feelings toward the villagers after the treatment they received. I wonder how he'll solve the challenge set before him. Worry not, succubus Tsuyuri. I, the hero of my country, of judo, shall succeed. I soon found Machiko and Maiko talking near the staircase leading back into the forest. The two girls looked like they were playing a similar game to hopscotch on the wide shrine step. Now it was time for me to figure out how to convince the girls. Ah, Taka-kun, is everything well? You look concerned. Tsuyuri told me some interesting stuff. Oh? What was it? Did she tell you Machiko's bust size? Maiko! Owie! No, nothing like that. And if she offered to, I would have declined. I'm a gentleman. Teacups. She told me about recent events, and I think I found a way to get you both accepted to the village. Wait, Tsuyuri-sama told you? What did she tell you? She's not told us anything. She didn't go into many details. She just told me that there are feral spirits that are doing their spirit-y thinging, which the people of the village think that they are under attack. If we can convince the villagers that the other spirits are just playing, maybe we can figure out a way to protect them. And if you could help doing so, maybe they'll warm up to you. Yay! That'll work for sure! Su-chan and Takani are so smart. swear. I don't mean to, but I keep personifying Maiko as a dumb, young little brat. Like, not brat, but anyways. Whoa, wait, Maiko, calm down. Takakun, there's no way the village will change that easily. Even if we convince the elder, the 2 guards will never forgive us for our theft. It's only panties. Panties. Delicious panties. I firmly believe in the thought that I'd rather try something and fail than to regret having not tried. Of course, the 2 guards will be upset, but perhaps after our heroic efforts to save the village, they might be more willing to listen to your story. Try something and fail, then regret having not tried? But won't you be sad if you fail despite having tried so hard? Well, that is if I fail. Nothing is set in stone, so it never hurts to try. Try? While I was rather certain of this idea, I knew I had to convince the girls that this plan would work. If everything with this amount of confidence my tone carried, it was only a matter of time before Machiko started to consider it. I am not so sure, Takakun. Do you really want to face the wrath of Mio head on? If it's for the sake of my friends, then yes. And if it gets me laid. And perhaps if we're lucky, she finally shows that dere side of her. Translation question. Tsundere, I've always thought translated to a tomboy-ish or unfeminine. So does dere literally translate to feminine side? And tsun means not or shunned or non-existent or along those lines? I've only heard the term but never actually thought to translate it literally, so I'm not so sure. If anyone could translate that for me, let me know. I'm for it. I want to play with the people in town. I want to be able to eat the delicious smelling foods. I want to learn about them. What about you, my Chiko-chan? Don't you want to be able to wander around without the constant thought of being hunted and chased by the village? This could be the only chance we'll get. I suppose with both of you being so enthusiastic, I do not have much of a choice in the matter. It would be rather nice to be able to trade for some sake. I almost said sake. Sake from the human world. Spirit sake is quite bland. How old are you, Machiko? That's the spirit. We should hurry toward the village then. Very well, Takakun. This quiet moment might be a good time to actually end this video. Thank you for joining me for episode 3. I hope you could tell the difference in voice quality. And I hope the first 2 videos weren't so bad to the point where people would just like totally not listen to anything that I say anymore. This is actually kind of fun, just kind of reading, kind of pseudo voice acting, although I can't act as a female, but you know, I'm trying. It's really fun. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. If you could feel free to leave a like. I don't have any subscribers yet. Feel free to subscribe if you like the content. I do plan on releasing videos more regularly than I have been. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me and have a good day.